Are you sick and tired of it taking forever to kill zombies? Do you wish you could literally one-shot everything in 7 days? Well, today I'm going to show you how to do that. By the time you're done watching this video, you will know how to do upwards of 8,000 damage to a single target. Yes, that is correct. 8,000 damage to a single target. Nothing in this game can survive that. All right, let's start off by taking a look at this spreadsheet. Oh, look at it. Isn't it a pretty spreadsheet? Okay, so what this is this is a spreadsheet of every zombie in the game's health. This column right here is their base health, and then the game takes that and it goes somewhere between 15% higher and 15% lower, but it's a variable amount, so it can be anywhere in between those two numbers. The next column you see is the low end. This is the maximum low that any of these zombies can roll. And then you have the high end column. That's the maximum high any of them can roll. So theoretically, if we can do 3,450 damage, because as you can see, I have it sorted from highest health to lowest health, and our zombie white infernal has the highest health in the game, coming in at 3,450 if it manages to roll the absolute max end of what it can roll when it is spawned in. Now, the chances of seeing that actual max number are very slim, but that does give us a number to shoot for. Before we get into the weapons we're going to be using, let's talk about a bit of gear. So first thing you want is the Preacher Gloves. This is going to handle all of your undead. If you're fighting anything that is not undead, aka any of the animals that are in the game, you want to use the Commando Gloves. The Commando Gloves give you 50% range damage, and the Preacher Gloves give you 60% increased damage to all undead, no matter what kind of damage you are doing to them. It's increased by 60%. The other thing we want is the Assassin's Hood. This gives us increase to sneak damage. We're not always going to be sneaking, but when we do, we want to maximize our damage. Last but not least, since all of the damage that we are going to be doing is range damage, we want Recog. Recog increases all of our range damage by 50%. It also increases our water consumption by 30%, but who really cares? It's just water. At the point you're going to be in the game where you're going to be able to do anything that I'm about to show you here today, water's not going to be a problem for you, or shouldn't be anyway if you know what you're doing. Okay, first weapon we're taking a look at is the auto shotgun, specifically using the shotgun AP slug. You want to make sure that you have all of your mods slot full, because every mod that you put on something is going to increase its overall damage. So we're running the choke mod, reflex sight, drum mag, and rad remover. The skills important to this one are maxed out strength, maxed out boomstick, as well as maxing out the penetrator. You're also going to need a couple of magazines under Shotgun Messiah, but not all of them. You want number 1, which increases your damage by 10%. Number 3 states that targets within 3 meters have a high dismemberment chance. That's just going to help you one-shot them if you get those headshots more often. And number 7, which states that targets with full health take 20% more damage. And if we pop a couple of recog, we line a bunch of these old boys up and shoot them, you can see we make extremely short work of them. One-shotting one that was behind the first one that we shot, wounding the first one beyond belief, and then quickly one-shotting the next two. You won't always one-shot with this setup, but more often than not, you will. And since we can often one-shot the Infernal Whites, that means that pretty much everything else in the game is not going to be a problem for us. We're going to easily one-shot it as long as we can land those headshots, which landing headshots is going to be a theme throughout this video. Moving right along to sniper rifle. So obviously for sniper rifle, you're going to need your basic perception setup. You're going to put all your 10 points into perception, then you're going to max out Deadeye. Obviously, you want to max out the penetrator and also perception mastery, getting you that 50% additional damage with rifles. The books you're going to need for your sniper rifle damage are number 1 for sniper, which gives you 10% additional damage with weapons with a scope on them, and number 3, which headshots have a chance to stun and a greater chance to dismember. Anything we can do to increase dismemberment chance gives us a better chance to one-shot, so we always want to make sure that we max that out as much as possible. Then you want to get your hands on a tier 6 sniper rifle, put as many mods in as you can. For this one, we're running barrel extender, magazine extender, the 2x scope, because obviously the scope gives us 10% increased damage, and the rad remover. You can see that gives us a total of 44 additional damage to the 180 that we do. And then we want to ensure that we're using the AP ammo, which has a base damage of 57 and 50% armor penetration. Combined with everything else we have, we will now have a total of 100% armor penetration, just like we did with the shotgun slugs. And you can see if we've got them lined up in a perfect line, we can easily take out multiples with absolutely no issue. We got all of those except for one, and then we had to follow up that one with an additional shot, but he was basically dead and just didn't realize it. The great thing about the sniper rifle as well is when you hit a target, you increase its damage up to a maximum of 50% additional damage, meaning that we top out at 3,096 damage. That's just about enough to one-shot these guys every single time, no matter what their health is, and definitely enough to one-shot everything else in the game. That, along with the penetration, means that if you line them up on Horde Night, you're going to be knocking them down really quick with a single bullet. And clearly I saved the best for last, because you know I gotta maximize that watch time. The bow is absolutely insane. It may be one of, if not the slowest weapon in the game. game, but its ability to one-shot everything in this game is absolutely unbeatable. So for this setup, we're headed over to the agility tree. Obviously, you want to max out agility. You want to max out archery. You want to max out agility master. That piercing precision is a must. Fully drawn bow shots can bypass enemy armor, dealing full damage plus an additional 25%. I assure you, you have no idea at the current time of watching this video how busted this is, but you will. Next, you want to make sure you max out hidden strikes so that we can maximize our sneak damage when we decide to do some sneaky. Then we're going to head on over to the old perception tree, and we want to max out demo expert. Trust me. Next up, you want your tier 6 compound bow. We're going to rock the arrow rest, the polymer string, the rad remover, and the ergonomic grip. For your arrows, you want to run the steel arrow and then the insanely expensive, but doable if you set up proper farming for it, exploding arrow. The biggest downfall to crafting the exploding arrow in bulk and getting a ton of it is going to be the duct tape. You're going to need a bit of a proper farming setup in order to get plenty of glue and cloth in order to just have endless amounts of duct tape. Trust me, you're going to want it mainly for horde nights. Every other time you will be fine, but you're going to want to rock the exploding arrows when it comes to horde night, and I'll show you why in a minute. So we slam a couple of recogs and we equip our steel arrows, and you can see that the damage isn't very impressive, coming in at 1179 when we're not sneaking. However, if we come over to the side somewhere and we crouch down and go into sneak mode, our damage increases. We get that 6.6 times increased damage, and we absolutely destroy everything that we shoot in the head, doing 2,970 damage, leaving the Infernal Whites to be the only ones who can sustain that type of damage on occasion. You can see that we very clearly, more often than not, take them down in a single shot. But now let me show you the insanity that is the exploding arrow. The great thing about the exploding arrow is that it gets the bonus from the fully drawn bow, gives it the armor pen, and we also get the increased damage from the explosions. So it gets all of the other increased damages that we get, as well as the increased damage from explosions. And this is because it has the tags on it: ammo, ranged, attention agility, perk archery, perk penetrator, and perk demolition expert. It also has the actual code in it that allows it to gain the bonus from a fully drawn bow. And after doing a little bit of camera jank so that I can ensure that you can see the damage numbers, you can see that we do over 8,000 sneak damage. But that's not all. You don't have to sneak with this setup to be able to one-shot literally everything. You can be running around out in the open just fine, doing over 3,000 damage, which is more than these guys can handle. Your average damage for this should come in at a little over 3,400. And if we take a look at that spreadsheet again, you can see that the max end HP that these guys can roll is 3,450, and they're very seldom going to roll that complete high end. It's going to be somewhere close to that. They can often get very, very high, but very seldom will you ever see one that actually rolls 3,450 because it's a variable amount that they roll somewhere between those two sets of numbers. And because we can one-shot those guys doing that amount of damage without even needing to be sneaking, means that we can one-shot literally anything, plus you get the AoE damage from the explosion as well, weakening things around the target that you're hitting, meaning the next target that you go to fire at is probably not going to be full HP when you go to fire at it. This setup is absolutely insane. Now, your time to kill is relatively slow because you do fire very, very slowly, at about 24 rounds per minute, but that's 24 instant deaths per minute. All right, hopefully you all found this video informational and learned a little something today. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.